专注驾驶，安全规范。大家好，我是驾驶导师江教练，欢迎来到家中驾驶频道。在多伦多，每天有超过3000宗的拨打紧急救援的电话，这3000多个电话中，有可能是我们的家人、亲戚和朋友。延迟10秒钟的救援时间，结果将会是截然不同的。接下来我跟大家分享一个由多伦多警队录制的一个关于紧急车辆避让法的一个非常有价值的视频。
What if there was an emergency and you had to call 911?
Emergency? Do you require the police, ambulance, or fire department?
What if your father was having a heart attack?
My father's collapsed and I don't think he's breathing.
What if your home was on fire?
The flames are too hot. I need some help. My daughter's still inside.
What if someone was breaking into your home?
I hear someone breaking in downstairs. I'm so scared. I'm all alone.
What if your baby stopped breathing?
Oh my God, he's turning blue. Hurry, please.
But what if help couldn't get to you as fast as you needed to? This is the Communications Center for the Toronto Police, where every day more than 3,000 911 calls are received. That's more than 3,000 people a day who require immediate help. Toronto's emergency services, police, fire, and ambulance provide an excellent response to 911 calls, usually arriving within minutes. But all too often, the response is delayed by motorists who slow them down. Drivers who, for whatever reason, don't get out of their way. And it's these delays that cause precious seconds to be lost. Seconds that could mean the difference between life and death.
It's very important to get to these calls in a timely manner because, first of all, somebody there has dialed 911 to let us know that they need assistance. It could be medical, it could be a crime in progress, and a timely response is crucial. So when citizens on the roadway hinder our response time, it could make a huge difference at the other end of that call.
It's extremely important to move over and pull to the right and get out of the way of emergency vehicles because those seconds can save somebody you love. We might be going to your house. You just don't know it yet. And when we get there, we want to find that we can make a difference in your loved one's life rather than being there and it's too late.
This could save your life. This could save the life of your child or your grandmother or your friend. This is not a dramatic interpretation. This is the truth. This is what we do every day, and this is why we want you to do it. To delay us could cost someone their life.
We all share in the responsibility to ensure emergency help gets to where it's needed, when it's needed. And for drivers, that means moving out of the way of responding emergency vehicles. And while most drivers do move over and stop, many don't. Like these drivers who not only delay the response of the firefighters by taking far too long to get out of the way, but one driver stops in the middle of the street, creating a roadblock and a potentially dangerous situation.
Everyone can pull to the right and stop. I have between 2,400, 2,500 liters of water behind me on this truck. So if you get excited or upset and just stop in front of me, it's not quite so easy for me to stop. I have a little cushion of weight coming behind me, and therefore it's a little more dangerous. The idea is not to get into an accident going to an accident. The idea is to arrive safely.
People should know that they have a responsibility to everybody else on the road. Just because they're in their vehicle does not mean that they're in a cocoon. We have to think about what we're doing. Your actions affect everybody else's actions.
Keep in mind that an emergency vehicle can approach from any direction at any time. You must be alert to what is happening around you so that you can take the appropriate actions. As soon as you see the lights or hear the siren, check around you and look into your mirrors to determine where the emergency vehicle is and which way it's going. Look for a place on your right that you can move into quickly and safely. Signal as you move over to let the driver know that you've seen them. And then come to a complete stop as close to the side of the road as possible without blocking an intersection. This will create a clear passage for the emergency vehicle to pass you. Now compare the response times between when the drivers didn't move out of the way of the fire truck and when they do. And on a one-way street such as this, you can move over to the right or left side. The delay of 14 seconds may not seem like a lot to you, but to the person who called 911, it can make a huge difference.
Fire doesn't stay in one state very long. If we're going to a fire call, it builds. And the longer it has time to build, the worse the fire is going to be. So what may start out as a kitchen fire or a small fire on the stove, if we get delayed once, it's now a kitchen fire. If we get delayed 2 or 3 times, it's now the first floor of a house fire. If we get delayed 4 or 5 times on the way to that call, it could be a fully involved house.
We were responding to this call and the driver would not move, would not move, would not move. And finally, he did end up moving over to the side. And when we got there, it was his house that was on fire. And we were delayed to the point where we couldn't actually enter the house. But property damage was extensive because this particular person actually did it to themselves. It was unfortunate, but this is one situation where one person can testify for you how important it is to pull to the right and stop, and they learned their lesson.
It's the law that all drivers must move over and stop for emergency vehicles approaching from either direction. If you don't, you could receive an $85 fine, plus you'll receive 3 demerit points.